What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. Thank you guys again for joining us for another live stream. It is going to be a little bit loud in the background, so I do apologize for all the background noise. I just jumped in at a random restaurant's Wi-Fi and asked if I can connect. So I bought a popsicle, and then I jumped on the Wi-Fi. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, just talking about some pre-market movers that I'm going to be taking a look at, and I'm going to be answering some of your questions. Right now it's 3:11 p.m. here in San Sebastian, Spain, but in Arizona, which is where I usually trade Pacific or Mountain Standard Time, it's about 6:11 p.m. So it's still 19 minutes till market open, so we still have quite a bit of time. So I'm going to answer some of your guys' questions, but right as the market opens, I'm going to head on out just because we're right by the beach, and I've prolonged my girlfriend enough to, stay back and stuff like that. So I hope you guys understand. So I'm going to be sharing my screen and see what you guys have to say. So, all right. So very quickly, I'm using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. From top to bottom, I like to use volume as one of the biggest indicators. MBRX is one of the biggest movers that saw the biggest increase in volume, and that has to do this due to this trading from 80 cents all the way up to $1.30. So it hit a resistance, saw support at $1.10. So let me see if I can draw a support line right here. We're most likely going to see another resistance at 120. It's about 10% margin for profit. It hit a slight resistance at 117. So we're going to have to see during market opening. We might see a little bit of a pullback. And hopefully a bounce at $1. Let me go ahead and continue to take a look. JNUG, just like yesterday, if you guys didn't follow yesterday's trade, saw a huge increase in price during pre-market hours, and then once it approaches, during market open, so this black part background instead of this gray background, just sees a huge drop. So it doesn't give a lot of opportunity to those that want to sell for a profit that bought in at like 17.20 or at 17. To do so, and that's why I logged in profits yesterday. Didn't watch the video. I stop lossed out originally when it went below $17, and then I bought back in at $16.90 when it came back up, and then ended up selling at $17.20, and I sold about 15 to 20 minutes before the market closed, but ended up hitting highs of like $17.36 was the highest that I saw on my TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform, and then had a nice little drop. Again, huge rise, but then a downward trend during market open. So I'm going to wait for a solid pullback, see if I can catch it at like $16.80, $17 once it bounces. And then if it does, then this can be a potential trade. I'm going to continue looking. I'm going to go through some of the recommendations you guys have. So, Ricky, you are late. Let's see. DCTH, I've been liking this. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and DCTH. Pre-market hours had a really nice spike, support at 26, which was an old resistance, and has had a huge pullback to about 20 cents. So 20 cents tends to be the support, resistance at about 35. DCTH, I just think too much hype has gone on with this one. I'm personally, again, although a lot of people were able to profit off of it yesterday, I'm personally not going to trade it. Again, it goes against one of my rules of being less than 50 cents. And it's just not something I'm comfortable trading, but definitely sees a lot of volume, sees a lot of potential, but then a lot of potential for loss. So with more risk for profit or more potential for profit comes more, in a sense, potential for loss, and a lot quicker as well. So I'm going to continue looking at BIOC. Let's see, nice little rise. So this could be a good indicator right before market close, or it actually could have been at market close. Ended up hitting highs of 150, so that could be a good indicator that's going to start staircasing up. Let me go ahead and see. Not really. Has a resistance at 135. Right now it's at 140, so not the volume that I want to see. BRYS, consistent downward trend, even though it had that 1/15th reverse stock split, so just not a good sign. Rig, let's see. Support at 810, lows or 809. Right now, current support at around 820, but it's not moving much above that. So again, I want to see more of an upward trend before I decide to jump on in. Snapchat finally coming back down to the $17 support. So the reason I call it the $17 support is if we go back to doing a 10-day analysis, it's continuously been at $17 for about like 5 days, and it's bounced at that price. So once, twice, three, I would say above it fourth, and hopefully today can be another day. But it's been holding above $17, and that's in a sense what we want to see. So I have my alert set when it goes below like 710 or 708, just so I can catch it at the bounce. But this is definitely one that I'll be watching out. The one that I called out yesterday was FTR. The reason that I called FTR out was because of the previous support that it had. So let's do a 20-day analysis. And if we look at the support that it has where it's bounced before, so it's bounced at 119, and then it hit highs of about, almost 140. But realistically, from 119, it looks more realistically like it could go to 130. That seems more, realistic. So now it looks like it's kind of plateauing, kind of flatlining like how it did a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago. But it just dropped below that support. If you guys could see during pre-market hours, dropped to lows of 116. So that's not, in a sense, a good indicator. It broke that support. So for me, until it breaks above 120, I'm probably not going to look at FTR. Right now, there's buyers at 123, at least one buyer, and then sellers at 124. But again, not a huge area of opportunity, at least at the moment. I, again, don't care about getting in at the lowest price, but I like getting in when I see signs of upward momentum. So let me see again what you guys have to say. I don't know what that means. I am live, right? Okay. It seemed like you guys were asking why I haven't gone live yet, so. All right, you guys, I've already analyzed JNUG, if I'm not mistaken. I was actually talking about JNUG with a buddy of mine, and I'm gonna wait for it to go sub 16, sub 17. So that's in a sense what I'm gonna be waiting for. But let me dedicate a couple minutes to answering some of your guys' questions, if that's okay. AMD seems to be one that's requested right now, so I'll be more than happy to do that for you. All right. Looks like it had, there's actually news that came out on this one, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, yeah. So it's been on a consistent upward trend, hit a resistance at 1375. And again, if you guys aren't familiar with AMD, this is one that we've been trading for quite a while. And right before that huge dip that it had, it was trading at above $13. And then it broke below 13 and went all the way down to sub 10, right? It bounced, hit 13 again, and then had a huge drop. But it's continuously, if you guys could see, its new lows have continuously been increasing in value, if you guys could see that, right? As well as its new highs. So it's consistently been seeing an upward trend, but again, since it's hitting so high, or it's so high in price right now, RSI indicator showing that it's more on the overbought side. It might continue to rise, and yes, that is a possibility, but I'd like to see a little bit more of a pullback and maybe catch it around like $12 to $12.50 as it starts to rise again. So that's just my comfort area. I tried to use with these stocks that are less penny stocks and more like actually multi-million-dollar companies, I tried to use these RSI indicators to get a better understanding on how it's doing. And since they do pretty well, they usually end up coming back up rather than these true penny stocks that we trade some of the time. AMD, all right, got that one. AUPH, let me go ahead and check that one out. Bounced at $6, it's at $6.86. There's a resistance at $7, as that was an old support, so that's going to become a new resistance. Let me get a little bit closer. Yeah, you can tell that it's already hitting a resistance. RSI indicator is indicating that when it hits these peaks, it's already peaking out. It has been on a consistent upward trend, so that's good. Other than that, with the past couple of days, it's been doing very well. I wonder if it took a huge dip. Yeah, it kind of built this, double bottom and then picked back up. So that's a very common trend. And it looks like there's going to be most likely a resistance at around $7, as you guys can see here, if you guys can see that. CMG. Oh, huge drop, $424. I don't think that's going to be necessarily a stock that's going to be very popular within our group, as that's a very pricey stock. Looks like it has a support at around 425. It hasn't gone below 425. It has, but it's been holding pretty well. So again, I want to make sure you guys understand that you should never trade based on anyone else's opinion, nor mine, nor anyone's, right? It really comes down to you as whatever it is that you guys see value in. And if you can make sense of your trade and you can manage your risk, then that's, part of investing. But I want to make sure that I encourage you guys to only trade in what you see value in and never based on anyone else's opinion. And again, this is just for me to share my whole thought process. So I want to make sure that you guys understand. CMG, this is my first time ever. Chipotle. Okay, well, I had a huge drop. Some news. Also throwing the towel. Again, this is not a penny stock. Took a huge drop during pre-market hours and after-market hours. Built a support at 425. Saw a slight resistance at 430, and this might be, a good area of opportunity for those that want to swing trade. For those that see value in that, it's been consistently on a downward trend, and as you see, it's been having these huge drops. So realistically, it does, bounce a little bit, and it does see some of a little bit of a rise. But realistically, just know that 425 is a support, and if it breaks below 425, I would personally cut my losses. Your potential for profit for it to go back up to where it is 5.78%. When let's say you get in like where the price is at right now, I would wait more for like the market's open, see if there's any pullbacks, and if there is, just know that 425 is a support. I would personally cut losses anything below 425 and just start to buy in when it starts to see an upward trend. So maybe when it goes above maybe 426 or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that you guys, in a sense, identify as a critical point, that once it breaks above, that it's, starting to move. Maybe it could be, 430, because it has struggled to go above 430. So until it goes above 430, then that's a true indicator that it's going up, and cut losses if it goes below 425. So that potential for loss is about 1%. Again, nothing huge. When your potential for profit is from, if it goes back up to 460, about 7%, or right here, I apologize, 450, 4.74%. So definitely a good one. Thank you for shouting that one out. I'll definitely add that one to my watch list. Who was that? Let me see. Matt McKillen, Mac Millan, I apologize. Thank you, appreciate that. Am I not live? Oh, I am live. I don't know why people saying that people, LOL, patiently waiting. It makes me feel like I'm not actually live. JDST, let's see. Okay, thank you for confirming that. That really confused me. I was like, man, this Wi-Fi probably isn't working. Let me do that one for you. Carlos Mendoza, let's do Halo. Appreciate you guys taking your time out of your day and spelled it wrong. RSI indicator right away, I can tell, but based on this 20-day analysis, it's way overpriced. So we'd expect somewhat of a pullback, but it's seen a consistent upward trend within the past couple of days. But like we know, old supports become new resistance levels. So right as this market opens, maybe the bounce at 1425 can be profitable. Again, what I like to do is I like to calculate my risk. So let's say I wait for the bounce. Let's say it bounces at 1425. Simply what I do is, okay, it has a support at 1425. Where is it going to have a resistance? Well, about $15 since it hasn't been able to break 15. So there's potential for profit from 1425 to about $15 is 5.19%. And I'm using this drawing tool. So you go to drawing tools, and it's called trend line. Okay, that's how I calculate this percentage. So there's a support here, and there's a support here. So let's say I'm not going to get in at the lowest price, so I care more about getting in at the bounce. Well, let's say I get in at 1440. I would cut losses if it goes below 1425. That potential for loss is about 1%. When my potential for profit from 1440 is about 3 to 4%. So that potential for profit, again, is about 4 times more than the potential for loss. So for some people, that might be a investment worth taking or a risk worth taking. It's all about calculated risk, and I never go in anything not understanding what my potential for profit is and what my potential for loss is, and then calculate to see if that's actually worth it. It's as simple as that. I think really the ones that I'm going to be focusing on is JNUG. I've just been doing really good with JNUG. Again, I haven't been holding these overnight now, just because of some suggestions that I've been receiving within the TechBud Solutions platform, and it's been very useful. It's been very helpful, and definitely that's a good indicator that I probably don't want to hold overnight. So I'll go ahead and do this one for you, Kevin. Let's see, DXTR. I don't like a stock that's less than 50 cents, so this isn't something that I'm going to be doing. It looks like it was overhyped yesterday, so that's probably why it's in your watch list. Hit a resistance. Looks like to be bouncing about 30 cents, so margin for profit about 20% if I'm not mistaken. Yes, but potential for loss if it goes back up down to where it is, it's about 33%. So not worth the risk for me. And if it has a huge drop below 30, most likely if you have your stop loss at 30 and it goes below 30, you will most likely get filled anywhere within this area, which is not safe. I mean, this alone is about probably 7%. Yeah. And it's because the volume can, fluctuate so quickly and become very volatile that your stop loss won't actually fill at the price you want it to. So this is not necessarily something that I'm going to be looking at, but good suggestion. FRTA. FRTA. All right. It bounced at $6, hit a resistance at $7.50 yesterday, and I've seen somewhat of a pullback. I'd actually expect it to actually bounce at about $7. I would like to wait for a little bit more for a solid pullback. I think it gave a good indication. Again, this is one of my first times looking at it. That it had a pretty solid support at $17. There's a lot of volume, and I think a lot of hype that led to this huge rise. And then throughout the day, it tried to make it up, but it couldn't really see it. I'd like to see actually a little bit of a pullback down to like $17 or $7, about $7.20, as that seems to be more of a support for it to start, and then buying there, cut losses if it goes below 1 to 2%, and then lock in profits if it goes above $7.50. So RSI indicator is not in my favor. But again, I don't know too much about FRTA. So it looks like we have about 51 seconds left. Oh, the chief investor. I'm so sorry. I did get a response back for the TechBud Solutions for the main chat room. We exceeded our limit, but you guys are more than welcome to join right here. So again, the link is provided for you down below to join the TechBud Solutions Facebook platform. We're a little bit over 24,000 members. And then on the top pinned post, you simply click see more right here, and it's on the main group chat. I think I might have to, let me see. I think I might have to change. It says 0 members, what the heck? Let's see. Let's see. No, it's here. So yeah, it's reopened. So all right. Thank you for asking that. All right, let's go ahead and see what happens. Right now it's at 7:30. Again, I really don't care too much about that one. I want to stick to what it is that I know. Looks like there's a support at $17. It's rising right now. No. Ooh, spiked up. I need to get rid of this news. Snap broke support below 1730. Hit resistance at 125 for FTR. Again, I want to catch it at the bounce, but 125 is a pretty solid resistance, so I want to get in a little bit of a lower price. So there's this level of support and resistance between 120 to 125. So again, I want to get in at the low end. Snapchat, wow, Snapchat dropping. Snapchat's right here. Let's see. Support at 1720. Is it going to break support? Let's see. see. All right. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Looks like you guys are all focused now, so I'll just continue talking. Make sure you guys are focused on whatever stock it is that you guys are trading. JNUG seems to continue to hold the support at above $17. I actually think it's going to break through. It ended up breaking through yesterday, so I have my alert set for that one, so I don't have to watch it too actively. MBRX, yep, it's playing out just kind of how we planned. So had a pullback just like we expected, just like we said at $1.10. It just broke that support, so it's probably going to continue dropping to $1 flat, and hopefully hold above that, and hopefully we can catch it at the bounce. But again, it's all about having a plan. So this could be actually a quick one to jump into. So if it holds pretty well, this is support at $1. An old support that it had was at 110, which is going to become a new resistance. Oh, it's picking back up again. 110, 111. And I just want to remind you guys, this is a $1 stock, so for every cent you lose, it's almost equivalent to a percentage. So that's why these stocks are a little bit more volatile and a little bit more risky. But with more risk comes more reward. But again, it all comes down on how you manage it. I actually think it's going to break that support regardless. Volume is really going to just die out since it almost had no volume before. And I think that only makes sense. So I'm going to put my alert. I'm going to be patient when it goes below 105, but this is definitely an exciting one. And then I'm going to put my alert to see if it goes above 115. It's actually bouncing, crud. 113, 114, and it's about to break that resistance. So that alone, we just caught from 108 to 115. That was 6% profit that MBRX had. Again, although right now, like it's still down right from where it originally opened at. Guys, it doesn't even matter where it just broke above it, 115, 116. We should have got in a little bit quicker. Let's see. I have my alert set, so I'm going to set my alert when it drops below this. Yeah. $123. All right. Setting my alerts. JNUG bounce. Held above $17, and that's good for those that were in JNUG. Snapchat still holding above 17.20, so again, still a valid support. Oh, I don't have my alert set on that. All right, PVR. Wow, that one had a huge drop, showing that it's going to most likely come back down to 17.75 again. So I'll set my alert for that. Wow, huge move. Potential for profit that it just played out was 13%. Hit the resistance just like it did during right when the market opened, and that was at 122. And it's now seen a pullback to 118, 120. Sellers at 120. Buyers now at 119. To hear what you guys have to say. I'm not going to be doing DCTH because there's been a lot of people just overhyping that one. So yeah, I personally I don't want to deal with this overhype. So I'm just not going to talk too much about it. Just again, if you guys see potential in it, guys, then invest it. But again, manage your risk and only trade if you see value in it. That's one of the biggest things. FTR broke below support. It's at 122 again. I think. So as you guys can see, buyers at 122, sellers at 123. I'm going to buy a couple of shares of FTR, not much. I'm probably just going to buy $1,000 worth of it. Give me 1 second. 122, let me price. All right, a little bit over $1,000. Let's see if my order pops up. All right. So I'm pretty sure that's me because I bought 1,000. Snapchat broke support. So I'll keep my alerts set on this one. If it drops below. But the reason that, again, that I'm trading on FTR, it's been holding very well above 119, and then it actually started showing signs of upward momentum. And I'd cut my losses if it goes below 119. So if I get filled, I would average down to 120, and then I'd cut losses below that. So again, my potential for loss is about like 1%. So nothing huge. MBRX back down to 115. As you guys could tell before, 115 was an old support, which is now a new resistance. Just broke. Yeah, all right. All right, back at 110, breaking that support. As you guys can see, it's picking back up. I want to know a little bit more about why it went up. Serial developers, breakthrough discoveries. Okay, such as hype on this. All right, I'm just gonna go in it and then see how that plays out. So it has a support at 110. I'm gonna buy in above MBRX. I'm only gonna risk 1%. So MBRX, I'll buy in at. Let's see. Shares. I'll buy 1,000. What types limit? Flat line, okay. Buyers at 111. All right, it's more of a downward trend right now, so I'm gonna hold off on it. I have my order ready, but I'll execute. So it's at 110 again. Buyers, sellers at 113. It's just pulling down too hard. Overall support at 108. At least that's where it bounced at. 110 is, I think, more of a solid support. All right, buyers at 111. FTR. FTR bounce. I got filled originally with only half my position. Okay, I got filled with the full 1,000 shares now on FTR. It's just staying there at 122. And then I'm going to try to buy in a little bit more at 120 if it ends up going down to that price, and then I'll cut losses if it drops below 119, and then I'll lock in profits anything above 125. So my potential for profit, as I plan to average up, is about 3.25%. Again, nothing huge. It does have potential to go up to 130, as that's where it came down from yesterday. And my potential for loss, if I get an average of 120 to 119, is about a little bit less than 1%. So I think it makes sense to me. My potential for loss is less than my potential for profit. So I can do that, risk management. And MBRX, I just feel like the volume is just going to die out, and then it's slowly going to break all these supports. So I'm going to stay away. I just don't feel comfortable with it. And it's as simple as that. So that's really just it. My girlfriend just gave me the look. So I'm gonna end it right there. I hope you guys again found the video helpful. I want to thank the 240 of you that are watching live right now. I'm going to be trying to go live every day while I'm here in Spain. I believe I have like a week and a half more. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. But one of the comments that I got yesterday, that it didn't affect me or negatively impact me. All I wanted to ask you guys was if you guys can leave it in the comments and not in the live stream, because I don't get to see all the things in the live streams, or if you guys can direct message me. One of the guys was like, there's two comments. One of the guys was like, this is all, my live streams are way too complicated for me to understand. That's what this one person said. I just started and I want, it's just really hard for me to stay up to date with what it is that you're talking about. I'm usually known to be very easy and very like simple to understand. So what could I do better to break it down? And I know I need to like slow down when I speak. But other than that, like what are some pointers or suggestions that you guys want to give me to make better quality videos, especially for those that are beginners? My second question is, a guy asked, you know, thank you for making the video, like it was helpful, or thank you for making the video, it's great content, but it wasn't very useful. And that was me about like how to make money at a young age when I ended up, when I like buy and sell bikes and stuff like that. What could I do a little bit better that you guys think that when I'm talking about, you know, buying and selling these products or buying and selling just the different things that I do, that can be a little bit more useful for you guys. I really want to hear what you guys have to say. And again, I want to continue making videos. So hopefully I can make a video based on your recommendation today. Again, just reach out to me. If you guys can direct message me within the Type 1 Solutions group chat, that would be ideal. So again, the link is provided for you down below. You simply just have to have a Facebook group, and that is it. I can't thank you guys enough for everything it is that you guys do. And like always, let's make sure that we're in the year on the green out. Take care, guys.